want to talk about this LeBron James story. Have you seen this, Connor? Lori Loughlin, we all know Aunt Becky.
Aunt Becky.
Yeah, old Aunt Becky. She paid $500,000 to get her daughter into school, posing as a fake. Which the only line they really crossed was pretending to be crew members, part of the crew team. Because let's be honest, people all in this town, people can make donations and get favorable treatment. It happens in every town. We know it happens right here. We can point to where that goes, right? I mean, we've all seen it. We all know exactly who it is. It's that way in every town, every city, every school, every college. If you don't think that you can make $1 million donation to build a library, and they're going to name the library after you, and your great grandkids can get into whatever school this is, of course they can. It's called legacy, right? And so really where they made the issue was introducing the lying component, introducing we're faking being part of the athletic teams that we were never a part of, right? And so that's kind of the background. Well, she's been sentenced to 2 months in prison, okay? And have you seen any of this, Connor? I mean, you know the story. You know the background about getting into USC. But the update is her and her husband are both sentenced, him 5 months, her 2 months in prison. And she made a request to serve her time at a medium security federal correctional institution in Victorville, California, and that was approved by a judge. Now, why is that important? Why is that important? Well, it's important because LeBron James said it was important. He said, over what? I'm laughing because sometimes you just have to stop from crying. Don't make no beep sense to me. We just want same treatment. If I've committed of same crime, that's all. Wow, he's really unintelligent. Is that asking for too much? 1-0. Let me guess. It is, huh? Yeah, I know. We'll just keep pushing forward and not expecting the handouts. Strong, black, and powerful. Oh, man. Have you ever seen like a toddler at Walmart when mommy says no, and they just throw an all-out, ever-loving, foot-stomping, hand-raising, laying on the ground, banging the ground kind of a fit? You ever seen a toddler throw a tantrum like that? Mm-hmm. This is what's happening right here. Let me ask you a question. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I can understand why he might feel upset.
Do you think LeBron James would serve in a normal prison if he went to jail for white-collar crimes?
He might not, but...
Of course he wouldn't, because he's freaking wealthy. This has nothing to do with white privilege. This is wealth privilege.
Yeah.
This is what happens for rich people, regardless of the color of their skin. So don't be freaking... It is so intellectually dishonest that it hurts my feelings.
So he's saying it's a race thing. That's what you're
saying? Yes.
He
said this is an example of white privilege,
gotcha,
right?
Okay.
And so no, I probably should have started with that. That's the issue here. It's not about if LeBron James. This is like him saying he's scared as a black man in this country. You're not scared, LeBron. You're the most famous dude in the country. You think a cop's going to shoot you in the street? Well, of course not, because you're LeBron. This stuff gets me fired up because it doesn't. Like, I've got no issue with the actual movement of Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, because I want to hear. We've been pretty consistent on the show with wanting to have the conversation, right? Like, it's not something that we're shying away from. It's not something we're scared of. But what we are a little bit concerned about is, and where I draw the big line is, let's be intellectually consistent. Let's be intellectually honest. All LeBron does with his platform is whip up people into a frenzy. And I think they need to be held accountable for that. Like, there's got to be a way to hold these celebrities accountable. When they tweet or do something with their platform that incites, I mean, just look at what Funny Man did down in Birmingham, right? When he said, we're going to go tear he didn't say to tear the statues down, but he did say to tear the statues down. He was charged. He incited a riot. When these people get on here and threaten our president of the United States with physical bodily harm, should they not be held accountable for that? When CNN hosts get on there and say, we're going to burn the effing country to the ground. Well, if that happens, is there not some responsibility to be put on If you've got millions of people following you on a platform like that, and you have the ability to push them to engage in physical activity, should you not be held accountable in some capacity? Should there not be some way to hold these people accountable in some capacity for what they say and do? Well, of course there should be, or else they can say and do whatever they want with no recourse, and that's dangerous. You're listening to Hometown Heartbeat. We'll be right back.